welcome to my video. I've had a lot of subscribers that have made comments requesting that I make a video on what school life was like back in the 1950s and what we did and everything. And I thought I'd go ahead and tell you. I started school in 1956, and I was all excited being in the first grade. And an office worker came from the office, and the teacher said, "You got to go with them." And I got up and I went with them, and they took me down to the principal's office and told me that I was too young to be in first grade, that I was 5 years old. And I said, "My birthday's next month." They said it didn't matter, that I had to go home, that I couldn't come back until I was 6 years old. Some kind of state rules, I don't know what it was, education rules. So I had to leave, and I was sad. I cried. My brother was in school, and so was my sister, and I had no one to play with, so I spent time in the woods each day playing, climbing trees, and just spent time with nature. But the following year, in 1957, I started school, and I was as happy as a Christmas tree. And I got in there and met all kinds of schoolmates and everything. But we would start our day. We would get up early in the morning, and we would go and have breakfast. And I was a sleepyhead, and my brother always stuck his chewing gum on the bedstead, and he would leave it overnight. Well, my brother would jump out of bed, and he'd take off in there, getting ready. Well, they'd holler at me, "Come on, sleepyhead, get up." So I moved to the end of the bed, and I always was suckered into it. I stuck my hand on the bedpost to get up. Well, when I did, I pulled out all strands of gum. My brother laughed. Well, I had to go to the bathroom. My dad told me to use cotton and alcohol to get that gum off my hand. Then I had to wash my hands, clean up, get dressed, and go to the table. And we would have oatmeal and biscuits early in the morning, and on cold mornings we would have cream of wheat and biscuits, or we would have cereal. Me and my brother, we liked Raisin Bran, we liked Corn Flakes, and we liked Wheaties. Have you had your Wheaties? But we would do that, and then the bus came, and we would go to the corner, and we'd get on the bus, get on the little, it's like a little bull step. You step up like this and walk up it to get on the bus. And then the driver would close the doors, and we'd go take our seats, and we would talk to our schoolmates on the bus. We would all ride along, and we would sing the latest commercials, like munch, munch, munch a bunch of Fritos, corn chips. We would do things like that. And then we would do the talk about the Curtis Butterfingers. And, back then, man, I'm going to tell you something. It was really good. It only cost a nickel, and they were scrumptious. But we would do these things back and forth. And then we'd get to school, and we'd get off school bus, and we'd go inside, and we would sit in the little area that they had before school, and we would all sit there until the first bell rang, and then we would all go. And we had our little bitty tiny desks, had a little tray on it, and had the pencil right here, and you put your books in the bottom. Of course, we didn't have any books. We mainly colored, and the teacher would talk to us about Spot, it's a little doggy, and we would start learning how to read, and we were given little reader books of Spot, and we'd say, "See Spot run. Spot runs good. See Spot run." Little things like that. We were first graders. But we had fun. We'd all get to go out on the playground, and we would run around and play, and we just had a ball. We really did. We climbed on, I can't remember what they called it, but it was metal, and we climbed Jim something, I can't remember what it was, but we would climb on them. We would get on the seesaws that would go up and down like this, and I always got suckered into that, because when they got me up in the air, the other one on the other end would jump off. He'd just take his leg off. Well, when he did, I fell down. And boy, you talk about hurting your bowhind. Woo, it hurt. It hurt your hiney, because it whacked the ground pretty hard. So I learned to avoid the students that would come out there, and I noticed they suckered a lot of people into doing that. And then we get on the swings. What was really bad is the bigger boys, third grade, fourth grade, they'd come running up and they would push your swing, and you would be flying on that swing like this, friend. And you know, when you're a first grader, you don't like things like that. And they'd tell you, jump, jump. Well, when it slowed down enough, I jumped out and I got away from it, but I learned not to go back to the swings and to stay off the seesaws. I quit doing that. But we had a good time, and then we would go to lunch, and the lunchroom was always wonderful. They had these big, beautiful yeast rolls, and the yeast rolls cost 2 cents a piece. And then you got your plate lunch, and then you would get a little container of milk, cost 7 cents, and then you would get the ice cream. The ice cream cost 7 cents, and the graham crackers cost 2 cents. So I would get them. But we would go on through our day, and then at the end of the day, the bell would ring, and we would all leave, and me and my brother would walk home. We wouldn't ride the bus, and we would walk home, and we lived about, I'd say about 3-4 miles from the school, but we walked through cornfields. And we had a lot of fun, we really did. But that's the way that we spent our days back in the 1957 when I was in the first grade. And we enjoyed it so much. And a lot of times in the mornings, we would get up real early before the bus got there. And me and my brother would walk to school too, and we'd walk on the railroad tracks, and we'd jump out of the way right at the last minute when the train was coming, which was foolish. There was a lot of children that were killed on those railroad tracks. I never will forget it. But that's what it was like. Hit the like button. I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. And I just wanted you to know what it was like in the 1957s when I went to first grade at Richard Lego School, and it was way, way out. Back then, it was off of a road called 2nd Avenue. It went way out in the country, the other side of Balch Springs, and we just had a wonderful time. See you on the next video. Y'all have a good day.